In the heart of Hong Kong's restless streets, where neon lights flickered against the shadows of narrow alleys and life pulsed with noise and ambition, a boy named Hungbo grew up chasing dreams shaped by both chaos and promise. Born in 1952 to parents who worked in the film industry's wardrobe department, Hungbo was surrounded by the magic of cinema long before he understood it. His grandparents were legends of the golden age of Hong Kong film. His grandmother, a fierce martial arts actress, and his grandfather, a respected director whose stories once filled theaters. It was in their home, among the hum of film reels and the scent of old costumes, that Hungbo's destiny quietly took root. At 9, he entered the China Drama Academy, a school notorious for its relentless discipline. It wasn't a place for the weak. The training was brutal, the routines merciless. There he became Yuan Lang, one of the 7 Little Fortunes, a group of young acrobats and martial artists who would later change cinema forever. Among them was another fiery spirit, a wiry, determined boy named Jackie Chan. Their friendly rivalry ignited a spark in Hungbo that would burn for decades, pushing him to strive harder, fight stronger, and dream bigger. Across the city, another young soul was being molded by destiny. His name was Li Junfen, born in San Francisco in 1940 to an opera-singing father and a mother of mixed Cantonese and English descent. The nurse who delivered him named him Bruce, unaware that the name would one day echo across the world. When Bruce was only 4 months old, his parents brought him back to Hong Kong, a city suffocating under the dark clouds of war and occupation. By the time he could walk, he was already appearing in films, earning the nickname Little Dragon for the fierce energy in his eyes. The streets of Hong Kong became his first battleground. Fights with older boys hardened him, but also revealed something inside, an unyielding spirit. Concerned by his aggression, his parents enrolled him in Wing Chun under the reluctant master Ip Man, who initially hesitated to train Bruce because of his mixed heritage. Yet Bruce's intensity was undeniable. He absorbed every movement, every principle, transforming martial arts into both a discipline and a philosophy. While Bruce's fire grew, Hungbo's path took a harsher turn. At 14, a stunt accident left him bedridden, his once agile body broken, his confidence shattered. The boy who once leapt across stages now stared at the ceiling, unsure if he'd ever move the same again. But even from his hospital bed, Hungbo refused to surrender. Drawing inspiration from a cartoon character whose resilience mirrored his own, he gave himself a new name, Sammo Hung. It was more than a name. It was a rebirth. Determined to reclaim his place, he returned to the world of film as a stuntman. He took every fall, every hit, every dangerous leap with raw courage, earning bruises that would later become badges of honor. His reputation grew. By the late 1960s, Sammo wasn't just performing stunts. He was choreographing them, bringing rhythm, creativity, and realism to fight scenes in a way no one had seen before. Then came 1973, the year everything changed. Sammo joined the crew of a film that would define martial arts cinema forever, Enter the Dragon. On set, he met Bruce Lee, already a legend whose name commanded silence wherever it was spoken. Bruce had taken a long, winding road to reach this moment. After being sent to America in 1959 to escape Hong Kong's street violence, he landed in Seattle with little more than determination. He worked above a restaurant, teaching martial arts to survive, not to become famous. His first school, the Junfan Kung Fu Institute, attracted students drawn not just to his skills but to his energy. While studying drama and philosophy at the University of Washington, Bruce grew frustrated with limits, both academic and cultural. He dropped out, moved to Oakland, and opened another school, spreading his teachings to anyone willing to learn, regardless of race. That act of defiance brought him both admiration and controversy. A duel with a traditionalist who opposed his methods became the spark that ignited a revolution in his thinking. From that clash, Bruce birthed Jeet Kune Do, the art of expressing oneself freely, unbound by form. It was a martial philosophy that valued adaptability, speed, and authenticity. On the Enter the Dragon set, Sammo watched Bruce move with breathtaking precision. Every motion carried meaning. Every strike felt alive. One night, between takes, curiosity got the better of Sammo. With a grin, he asked, "Are you really as fast as they say?" Bruce's eyes gleamed mischievously. Without a word, he stepped back, and before Sammo could blink, a kick sliced the air an inch from his face, so fast it left a whistle in the wind. Sammo froze wide-eyed, then burst into laughter. Bruce smiled, nodding quietly, their brief exchange sealing a silent bond. Though they spoke little afterward, that moment stayed etched in Sammo's memory forever, a memory of power, respect, and shared passion. But fate is rarely kind to legends. Just weeks before Enter the Dragon's release, Bruce Lee died unexpectedly at 32. The shock rippled through the world, leaving fans devastated and the industry hollow. Sammo was assigned to choreograph the reshoots for Bruce's unfinished film Game of Death, a task that weighed heavily on him. Using a lookalike and fragments of Bruce's original footage, the team completed the film in 1978, but it lacked Bruce's essence. Sammo poured everything he had into preserving what little remained of Bruce's vision. Years later, when unseen footage of Bruce's original concept resurfaced, the pagoda battles symbolizing the ascent through one's own fears, Sammo wept. It reminded him of something Bruce had once shared quietly during the Enter the Dragon shoot, a dream for a different kind of film. Bruce had spoken of a project called The Silent Storm, a story about a wanderer who used martial arts not to destroy, but to heal, to unite people across cultures and conflict. He wanted it to be a film that transcended action, that explored the soul beneath the fists. He even sketched scenes on scraps of paper, describing a final sequence where the hero would battle his own reflection, a duel of spirit rather than strength. Bruce never got to make it, and Sammo carried that secret like a sacred memory, believing the world wasn't ready for that side of Bruce Lee. Meanwhile, Sammo's own star continued to rise. In 1977, he directed The Iron-Fisted Monk, blending martial arts and comedy in a way that felt raw and new. His collaborations with Jackie Chan and Yuen Biao in the Lucky Stars series brought audiences laughter and awe, redefining action cinema. But success brought its own shadows: exhaustion, self-doubt, and the relentless expectations of fame. Through the 1980s, Sammo kept pushing boundaries with films like Winners and Sinners, merging physical comedy with breathtaking action. Behind the camera, he innovated choreography that influenced generations. Yet through all his triumphs, Bruce's memory lingered, guiding his choices, reminding him of why he'd started. The 1990s tested him further. A split with Golden Harvest, personal struggles and health battles threatened to end his career. But like before, he adapted, finding new life in Hollywood through the TV series Martial Law, where his charisma won him fans across the globe. Every movement, every punch he threw on screen carried traces of Bruce's influence, the philosophy of grace, flow, and authenticity that Bruce had instilled. By 2025, Sammo Hung stood on a film festival stage, now in his 70s, surrounded by admirers, filmmakers, and young martial artists who grew up idolizing him. Time had etched lines on his face, but his eyes still held the spark of that boy from the China Drama Academy. As he spoke to the crowd, memories flooded back: the long days of training, the laughter of the 7 Little Fortunes, the echo of Bruce's kick slicing the air. The world had changed, but the passion remained the same. When the moment came to speak about Bruce, Sammo paused. For decades he had kept the silent storm to himself, uncertain whether the world was ready to see Bruce Lee beyond his legend. But now, as a new generation rediscovered martial arts cinema, he knew it was time. With a steady voice, he told the story of Bruce's dream for a film that celebrated healing instead of violence, unity instead of conflict. The room fell silent. There were no camera flashes, no murmurs, only the quiet awe of people hearing about the legend's hidden vision for the first time. Bruce wasn't just about fighting, Sammo said softly. He wanted to show us how to live. The audience erupted in applause, some in tears. For them, Bruce's legacy had always been about power and perfection. But through Sammo's words, they saw his humanity, his yearning to transcend limits. The revelation of the Silent Storm became more than a story about a lost film. It became a symbol of unfinished dreams and the enduring bond between 2 artists who defined generations. That night, as Sammo looked out at the glowing city skyline, the same streets that once tested him and Bruce, he smiled. Their paths had diverged long ago, yet their spirits remained forever linked. Bruce Lee, the little dragon who burned bright and fast, had lit a flame that Sammo carried forward through every fall, every fight, and every frame of film he ever touched. In the end, their shared message echoed through time, that greatness isn't measured by fame or strength, but by how fiercely one dreams and how deeply one inspires others to rise. Hong Kong's streets still hum with their echoes, its skyline still shimmering with their fire. And for those who watch their films today, the lesson remains eternal. Dream without limits, fight for your vision, and never let the light fade.